Deep into the eyes, read them like a book. Trapped inside a prison, gotta free them like a crook. Make off with the loot, made off for the joke. Treated like these cowards never needed what we took, and we repeat it like a hook. Caught in the deep, come back like Wheezy. Card 3, sensation. Wait, then pause the beat. Eyes don't lie, truth still hard to see. They're begging me to show them, they're saying that I owe them, but I'll never give it up. Not for you, not for no one. Foreign ride, touring, soaring, open road, exploring, creepers.
Yeah, welcome to the show. This is Smoke the Competition. I'm your host, Eric Sojash. Please subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Give us a like. You can give us a follow on Twitter at Sojash Sports. This is where we break down fantasy football, we talk football betting, and football news. In today's episode, we're going to break down Week 6. Can't wait. Can't believe we're already a third of the way through the season. It's flying by. Nothing like NFL season. My favorite time of the year. We're also going to break down your Week 6 waiver ads and your start 'em and sit 'em lineups, as well as who you should be starting in the Thursday night matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a one-sided rivalry, ladies and gentlemen. Kansas City's won the last 15 matchups, looking to make it 16. They come into this game as huge favorites. We're going to break down who you should take in this game, who you should be starting. So stay tuned and let's have a good time. First thing I want to do is break down your waivers for this week. Let's have a look at your Week 6 waiver ads. First player I see as a must-add this week is quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford. Let's put some respect on this man's name. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. That was only a couple of years ago. The man still has it. He's come out the gates firing. Hasn't translated into a ton of production in terms of fantasy points, but I see it's going to come now that he's got his number one weapon back in Cooper Kupp. Added to the mix with the breakout of Puka Nacua. Stafford is just making things look fantastic. I have him as a great ad this week. He's going to be playing at home against the Arizona Cardinals. That defense is playing hard, but they still don't have it. They're ranked as a 29th defense in fantasy football. That means Stafford is going to have himself a field day. You can see him throwing a ton of passes to Puka, a ton of passes to Cooper Kupp, and a few touchdowns. I have him going over 250 yards and putting up at least 2 touchdowns. He's a Week 6 must-add. The next player I'm looking at as a must-add this week, he's coming off of IR. It's running back for the Miami Dolphins, Jeff Wilson. He's kind of playing musical chairs with his running mate as he comes off IR. Devon Achane is going on to IR. Unfortunately, the rookie did suffer that injury. He's going to miss about 4 to 5 weeks here, looking at coming back after the bye. So unfortunately, he's not going to be available. It's going to be Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. Jeff already has a handle of this offense. He was able to run this scheme over in San Francisco with Mike McDaniels, so he knows what he's doing. He just has to get his legs under him, get that football stamina going again, get your football legs, and he'll be good to go. Pick him up as a must-add. He'll be ready to roll. The Miami offense knows how to run the ball. Doesn't matter who's in the backfield. He's going to get plenty of opportunities. He's a great stash. Another player that's going to be a popular ad this week is wide receiver of the Minnesota Vikings, KJ Osborne. His opportunity comes at a huge cost here. Unfortunately, Justin Jefferson has suffered a severe hamstring injury. Looks like he's going to be out at least 4 weeks. The Minnesota Vikings keep trending in this direction of losing. Justin could be out even longer. There's not going to be a rush in getting him back, especially as he's still kind of going through those contract negotiations. So with all that said, KJ Osborne is a must-add. He's going to get plenty of opportunity this week and moving forward. Already has a rapport with Kirk Cousins. Already has a rapport in this offense. He's produced in the past. Now, granted, that was with the best receiver on the other side, taking all the coverage, taking all the attention away. So now it's going to be a little bit more balanced between himself, TJ, and Jordan Addison. But I do see KJ as a great ad. Kirk throws the ball 35 plus times a game, so he's going to get his fair share of targets. The next thing I want to do is break down those fantasy lineups. Let's see who you should be starting. The first player we want to break down in the Thursday night matchup in fantasy football this week is quarterback of the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson. I see him as a safe start this week. Doesn't have a high floor, I don't believe, coming into this game. Kansas City's defense has been playing fantastic this year. Russell Wilson does have a safe floor, though. Game script has worked in his favor. Whatever Sean Payton has cooked up early on, Russell's been able to mix that meal together and deliver. His first half production's been solid all season. However, in the second half, he tails to fall off. He's needed a little bit of luck, literally a Hail Mary in a game or two to save him. So in terms of the high ceiling, I don't see it, but a safe floor is there for Russ. He should be able to get you around 200 yards and a touchdown. Just hopefully he doesn't have those turnovers that he's been plagued with the last few weeks. Second player we're breaking down out of the Denver Broncos is running back Javonte Williams. He's set to come back from that hip injury. Kind of a shocker there. We didn't expect him to have that type of injury, just coming back from those devastating knee injuries. But it looks like he's okay to go now. Hopefully, the man can finally get trending in the right direction and stay healthy. With all that said, I see him as a huge risk this week. He hasn't had his legs under him this year, hasn't had the burst. None of that production has turned into anything that you can use in fantasy so far this year, even though he had plenty of opportunity early on. And now he opened the door for another running back in McLaughlin to steal touches from him. He's a risky play this week. I wouldn't want to start him unless you have no choice. And speaking of McLaughlin, I'm moving over to him here. I see Jaleel McLaughlin as a safe start this week. Not a good start, definitely not a must start, but a safe start. He's found ways to make explosive plays with limited touches. With the running back Javonte Williams coming back, that is going to break into his share of touches. However, he's been the guy that's made the most of his opportunity. Sean Payton's going to lean on that. He's the guy that's been able to find the end zone despite his stature. I see him as a safe start this week. If you don't have another option, or if you just think this is the right play for you, PPR formats, he has been making a lot of catches. Plug him in your lineups, safe floor is there. Next player we're going to talk about is the wide receiver of the Denver Broncos, number 10, Jerry Jeudy. All that preseason hype, a lot of expectations. A lot of people were talking about Jeudy becoming a wide receiver 2 this season, someone you can plug and play. Him and Russell Wilson have not found a connection. Him and Sean Payton have not found a way to use his talent to the best of his abilities. So it's just missing right now, and I'm seeing that trend continuing, especially against this Kansas City defense. I see Jeudy as a risky start. He is going to eventually have that big game. The talent is there, but you're going to have a hard time pegging when that game is coming. I don't think it's going to be this week. If you don't have any other options, I understand playing him as a wide receiver 3 or a desperation play, but he is a risky start this week, no doubt. And moving over to his wide receiver mate on the other side of the field, number 14, Courtland Sutton. I see him as a bit of a safer play this week. He's a safe play as opposed to a risk like Jeudy, just because he has a touchdown upside. Him and Russell Wilson do have a better rapport in the red zone. Russell tends to look to his tight ends or Sutton, so there is an opportunity for Sutton to score this week. However, like I previously mentioned, that Kansas City defense has been vastly improved. Those young corners have a lot of confidence and they're playing like it. This is going to be a challenge for Sutton. He does have an opportunity to catch that touchdown, so I do see him as a safe play, but there is no high ceiling and he doesn't have that high upside play. Hopping over to the Kansas City Chiefs, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's a must start. You don't have to debate that. He's going against the Denver Broncos defense. Somebody put up 70 points on them a couple weeks ago. This defense has not been pretty. So Patrick Mahomes, this is one of your games where we expect big numbers. Got to get at least 3 touchdowns out of you. He's an absolute must start. Jumping over to the backfield, there's only one running back I'm going to break down this week for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's Isaiah Pacheco. He's also an absolute must start this week. The Denver Broncos have been getting ran all over this season. People are putting up record numbers on the ground on them. That's not going to stop this week. I don't think they figured out their rush defense. And on top of that, Pacheco runs like a man possessed. He's going to look to have a big game. The Chiefs should be able to lean on him. He's an absolute must start in week 6. Sit back and enjoy this man's absolute insanely aggressive running style. And the other absolute must start coming out of the Kansas City Chiefs is none other than tight end Travis Kelce. He's a tight end 1 on the season. In terms of who you expect to finish the season as the overall producer, this guy just scores touchdowns. He produces in PPR format. He finds a way to beat man. He constantly finds the holes in the zone. He's unguardable. Not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's Travis Kelce. He's the top tight end in football. You put him in your lineups. The ankle injury does make you wonder if he's going to be 100% there to produce or a bit of a decoy. Either way, you got to play him. He's an absolute must start. All right, now looking at the wide receiver position, first one we're going to have a look at is wide receiver Kadarius Toney. He has been better. The hands haven't been quite the issue anymore. He hasn't been dropping everything thrown his way. However, it hasn't been high ceiling production. Only really can see him being useful in PPR formats, and even there I see him as a risky start. They just aren't using him quite like we expected. The gadget plays aren't working, and he's not beating his coverages in the zones as consistently as you need. Right now he's definitely a risky play. I'd put him on the bench until him and Patrick Mahomes find that chemistry. And the last player we're going to break down for the Kansas City Chiefs is wide receiver Rashee Rice. This rookie has been a bit of a surprise this year. Consistency hasn't been there, but the safe floor is there. This week, I do see him as a safe play. He has been getting a lot of red zone targets and making the best of it. Him and Mahomes do seem to have a rapport when they get down to the red zone. They're going against the Denver Broncos, who give up the most points, give up the most yards, so I do see them continuing that trend against Patrick Mahomes and this Kansas City offense. If you want to play someone with a safe floor, Rashee Rice is your guy this week.
So, who gets the win and by how much?
I'm laying the big points, minus 10.5. I'm going with the hometown Chiefs. They're going to continue their dominance over the Broncos. I don't see anything changing this week, especially on national TV. I can see the game starting off fairly close. Maybe the first half, the Broncos give the Chiefs a bit of a scare. Russell's playing his best ball. But by the time the fourth quarter comes around, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, they're going to be dominating this game, controlling the clock, and pretty much imposing their will on that Broncos defense. So I'm riding with the Chiefs. They're going to get that win. Hopefully a late score doesn't burst our bubble.
That's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. Give us a follow. Once again, subscribe to the channel. I'm Eric Sojash. Peace, love. Let's continue to smoke the competition.
Deep into the eyes, read them like a book. Trapped inside a prison, gotta free them like a crook. Make off with the loot, made off for the joke. Treated like these cowards never needed what we took, and we repeat it like a hook. Caught in the deep, come back like Wheezy. The card 3, sensation. Wait, then pause the beat. Eyes don't lie, truth still hard to see. They're begging me to show them, they're saying that I owe them, but I'll never give it up. Not for you, not for no one. Foreign ride, touring, soaring, open road, explode.